One of the major arguments made against Christianity and the Bible as compared to older ancient pagan religions is that pagan religions, witchcraft, spirituality, etc. predates the Bible. So therefore, Bible and Christianity must not be true. And while that statement does contain some truth on the surface, we must dissect what is the Bible made up of. It too is made up of ancient writings, especially in the Old Testament. Consider the book of Job, which is considered to be one of the oldest books in the Bible as well as on the earth. You have the account of Noah, which is an old ancient story that also shows up in other ancient cultures, like, for example, the book of Gilgamesh and the story of Gilgamesh, which is considered to be very old and ancient. Noah shows up in that story as well. Additionally, you have extra biblical texts that used to be in what was called the Bible back then, that isn't anymore, like the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher, and the book of Jubilees, which are also old texts that were found in the ancient Dead Sea Scrolls. All of these stories in these texts compare and contrast with other old ancient texts from the Sumerians, the Mesopotamians, and other cultures. Furthermore, the newer texts of the Bible, like the New Testament, often refer and quote these older ancient texts, like the book of Enoch, and so on and so forth. So that question or argument that the Bible is old and outdated, or it is a new phenomenon as compared to other ancient texts, or it was, quote, written by man, end quote, as to why it should be disregarded are actually false when you really look and dissect where these books come from in the time and history they were written. Mind you, if we're talking about spirituality, the ancient seers, the ancient mystery schools, is all of this old ancient wisdom that spiritualists, New Age people, paganism, and witches use today were also written by man, handed down from one generation to the other, which is exactly what the Bible is, information and wisdom and truth handed down from one generation to the other. So when you really break it down, there really is no argument. The Bible actually confirms history, has a lot of historical elements into that, and also tells the stories in the Bible are confirmed by other historical accounts and other ancient beliefs and spiritual practices. There are more similarities than differences. The line is drawn when we talk about who is the real God, who is the God of all gods. Well, Christianity was a new term given to those who worship the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, who is the same God who was, and the same God who is now. The proof of this is in the historical accounts of which God defeated other gods over and over and over again in the past, in the present, and also will be in the future, which is the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one true living God. So if you put the wisdom and logic and knowledge and political debates aside, when it comes down to the two kingdoms colliding, the two kingdoms of power colliding, the God of the Bible always trumps the gods of the pagans. You see that in history. You see that now with manifestations of healing and deliverance taking place. The kingdom of light is always trumping the kingdom of darkness.